Hello, my 3M family. This is Marriage, Ministry, and Meals. So, today we're going to be talking about arguing. You know, a lot of times in marriages, you're going to not agree, and you're going to have times when somebody's frustrating you, your husband is frustrating you. Sometimes it can be your kid. Sometimes you can just be frustrated because you're tired and you don't know what you're doing, or you don't know how things are going to be fixed or work out in different situations. And sometimes you end up taking that frustration out on your spouse, whether it be the husband or the wife, and you get into arguments and you start fighting sometimes about little things, sometimes about big things. But I just want to discuss a little bit about how to argue. I was very blessed in my marriage because when I got married, I had a best friend. Today I'm going to be peeling and making like a little kind of like a cucumber salad. I'm just going to marinate them and peel them. I was extremely blessed in my marriage because at the very beginning of my marriage, I had like a partner in crime who happened to be my best friend, and she had already been married for a few years. As a matter of fact, she was already married. She already had her first child, and they had already been through some financial ups and downs. They had already been through some family ups and downs, sickness and different things like that. So she was such a blessing to me, as I got married with me and my husband, because she would give me the best advice. I'm sorry. I haven't ate, and I'm eating, and I'm trying to make a little something so that when my husband gets up to go to work, he'll have something to eat too, and he'll have something to take with him to work. But I was really blessed, and because my friend, she already had some experience, under her belt. And so when I came into my marriage and I started having these crazy, weird, strange arguments with my husband, I'm glad that I had somebody who could tell me, this is how you argue. This is how you don't argue. And I think that's an important thing to know about marriage. You get into a situation and you decide you're mad, you're angry, and I love God, and God is a keeper. His word is awesome. He's a deliverer and a way maker. But this flesh, sometimes it wants to do what it wants to do. And when it gets angry, baby, it will say and do all kind of things that can't be taken back. And that's the thing that you have to remember. My best friend, she was the assistant first lady. She was like second first lady. And then my pastor at the time, he was awesome too, just because him and his wife, they were just a really good example. They had been married for 30, 40 years already, 40 plus years already. They had already had their kids that were grown, and they were just a great example visually. But I was younger. And so when you're younger in your marriage, in your 20s, I think it helps to have somebody else in your marriage that's in their 20s as well, that can kind of help guide you through things kind of as they're going through it. And my pastor and his wife, they had been married for 40 years, so they'd already raised their kids, and a lot of stuff they was laughing about. But I wasn't laughing about it because I was frustrated about it. But I thank God for my friend. She was able to tell me, that when you argue, you never hit below the belt. And sometimes you don't really realize what these things are. You like hit below the belt. Like what are you talking about? Like you don't talk about his manhood. You don't talk about if you have an issue with your husband, you don't like the way he did something or said something, or the way that a decision that he made, whether he made it without you or with you or whatever the case, And there are ways to argue about those things, to discuss them. Not really necessarily in an argue. Because the Bible has told you already to be angry but sin not. So you don't want to get into a situation where you really arguing. You know, you want to have a discussion. And if you are having this discussion and you done got to the point where you want to say something that you can't take back, that somebody won't forget or won't be able to forgive, even though we're supposed to be able to forgive all things, because if we don't forgive, our Father in heaven won't forgive us. But things are hard to forget sometimes. Sometimes people can say things about you. You're a bad mother. You're a bad father. You're a bad provider. Well, I hate sleeping with you. Things like that. You don't want to hit below the back about that. Because every time that you get in a situation with your kids or with your husband and y'all are trying to be intimate, these things are going to be popping into their head and plaguing them. And sometimes you can't erase it. Time won't outgrow it. It'll just be with you or that your spouse forever as a weight in your marriage. And you want to keep those weights down. Plus, the object of arguing or having a discussion is to come to a conclusion, to come to a mutually agreed upon conclusion. So the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you do it peaceably. And I know just the very nature of having a disagreement or argument, you know, is not peaceful. It can be frustrating and tumultuous because you think you're right and he thinks he's right and y'all are both trying to get your point across. However, the Bible told us to be slow to speak, swift to hear, and slow to wrath. So we need to make sure that we're both listening to each other and we're not just talking over one another or just trying to make the other one understand that I'm right or what I'm saying is the way that we should do what we're going to do. So also, you need to make sure that you have a mind to always apologize. Be quick to apologize. The Bible says a soft answer turns away wrath. You want to be quick to be like, baby, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I didn't explain myself. I'm sorry that you didn't understand what I was going to do, or that I didn't help you to understand what I was going to do, what I wanted to do. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're arguing and fussing all the time because of the way you said it or the way that you came across when you said it. You want to be sure that your words are seasoned with grace. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I do understand that this old flesh will make you so angry that you can sometimes say things, but just be mindful. Be mindful of what you're saying. If you want to have a conversation with your husband or your wife, pray about it first, especially if you're angry. Matter of fact, if you're angry about something that happened or that you did or that they did, and you don't understand it, why they did it or how they did it, go to God in prayer. Take a little time to think about it first, and then go to them.